Hi guys, how's it going? Happy Tuesday, coming to you live from Israel like usual. Once again, with help with all the stuff that comes along with your content, with marketing your business, with your social media. So once again, it's Tuesday, so it's time for a live. Sorry, I'm playing around with. I'm repping my friend. She said Chervenak. I never know how to say her last name. She has an art page called Birdsong and Bear, and she does these beautiful acrylic pours. It's one of the few things I was able to bring to Israel. Anyways, so we are here to talk about testimonials. So, testimonials, everyone knows, are very important, very effective. It's a really powerful part of social proof, and it's one of the most effective forms of content marketing. Once again, content marketing, something I do, and basically it's marketing with content. So before we jump into everything, just want to update you guys on a couple things for my work in case you're interested. One, I've got that content membership I've been talking about where I pre-write content for bookkeepers. The 20% deal is good until the end of June, but it expires after that. So, and that 20% is for the life of the membership. So if you're interested, reach out to me. We'll get you set up. Also, I just finished a website this week, so I have another spot opening up. So if your website needs to be written or needs to be edited to clean it up and make sure that it flows and looks good, but doesn't need started from scratch, let me know. I'd be happy to help you. Just contact me. We'll set up a free call. All right, testimonials. Here is why you want them. So the easiest thing I can tell you is that we are in the age of Amazon. We're in the age of Amazon and Google. And if you think about when you go on there to select a book, to pick a product, what's the first thing you do? You go straight to the reviews. It's just how people shop. 97% of consumers look at reviews before purchasing. So having reviews, having testimonials is really important. It's important because it increases trust. It makes people more likely to buy if they trust that what you have is good, and they're going to trust someone else more than they trust you. And here's what's interesting. It doesn't have to be recommended by their friend or their minister or Beyonce in order to increase trust. Stats say that people trust online reviews, like just from strangers who use the product. They trust that as much as they do from acquaintances. 78% of people say that. So any reviews you have are really helpful. They do a huge thing to help people trust your product more. Because I can say all day long that my writing is great and has an effect. It's not nearly as effective as you hearing it from 1, 2, or 6 of my clients. It really just has a different feeling. So testimonials can also increase your conversion rate. So if that term isn't familiar, basically, people may look at your page but not buy. Testimonials really help take it over that edge. They're 34% more likely to go from just looking to actually buying or moving to the next step. And guess what? A single good review. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have enough reviews. One good review can increase your conversions by 10%. So if 10 people are looking at your page and usually only one person buys, suddenly you have 2. So if you're in that place, it's pretty great. Another question you may be wondering about is how many testimonials do you need? Okay. Whatever you have, however many you have, use them as soon as you get them. Put them everywhere, put them on different platforms. Because people interact with you in different places. So if you get one review, use it on Facebook, use it in your social media posts, use it on your website, spread it out. Don't wait to have a collection before you start sharing reviews. Use them immediately. But 6 is pretty much the magic number. So in 2013, they did this survey. People were asked, how many online reviews do you need to read before you feel like you trust a business? 67% of people said 6 or less. So don't feel like you have to accumulate this huge hoard of reviews in order to get business. Start somewhere, build it up. 6 is a really good number. It shows that you've worked with a lot of people, that you have a lot of trust. Whatever you have, use it. Use it now, use it now. Okay, so then we get to the next part. The tricky thing is, how do you get them? Now, if you've never had clients, that becomes a special challenge. This is something, of course, that I had to deal with when I was starting out as an entrepreneur. And it is I think I've got some sun glare, sorry. gonna scooch a little bit. If you've never had clients, it's hard to figure out and be creative where to get reviews for work that you haven't been hired for, but there are ways around it. So most likely, if you are starting a business or have a business, pretty certain that you have worked in that capacity for a corporation, for a company. So if you've worked in that field previously, ask a previous employer for a review. If you had a good boss, great, they'll give you a good review. Even if they didn't, here's what I want to encourage you to do. So I used to work for an office, and I wasn't sure if my boss would give me a review, but I had a really good relationship with the office manager. She and I were very good friends, on good terms, and so I asked her to write a review for me, and that was very, very helpful for me and was a really good way for me to get momentum going. So even if your boss wouldn't be the one to write the review, reach out to someone who has some authority in the company and who knows your skills to write the review. It counts, it adds up, it's great. Also, let's say like you're the techie person in your family, and you're always fixing the Wi-Fi and resetting the internet or helping with computer setup, stuff like that. And later you want to set up like some kind of IT or graphic design or website business. You've been helping people with this stuff all along the way. The people know to go to you. So reach out to your friends and family. If you've helped them with something related, say, hey, I'm starting this business and I helped you in this way. Would you mind helping me out by writing a quick review? Once again, it's a relevant review. They're saying that you know your stuff. Another thing that I've done multiple occasions, especially if you're starting out, do a small related project for free and offer to do it in exchange for a testimonial. So for example, like I'm in all these like entrepreneur groups like on Facebook, and all the time I see professionals who are just like, I have a new course or I have a new coaching program. I need reviews. Would you be willing to go through it or do a mini session or do a call with me in exchange for a testimonial or review? So I'm getting value, they're getting value too. Also, when I worked with a business coach, she and I, as I was just pivoting and getting started, I helped with a piece of writing, and then she promoted me in front of her audience that she had built up. So even though I had done the work, the first project I did for her for free, she's hired me since then, but she promoted me. She gave me social proof. She gave me that testimonial about how good I was to work with. So in the beginning, don't worry about exchanging some work for free as long as you get that value. It's still a valuable thing to get. Another thing you can do, and this is something that I came across and is a really good idea, you probably are in relationships with other people who are starting their businesses too, especially if you're online and building up relationships online. So find someone that you can kind of do like a testimonial swap with. If you kind of like have been able to help each other, like with your services, like someone helps you with your website or someone helps you set up your social media profile, and you can help them with something different that they don't have, and talk to them, be like, hey, let's help each other out in this way, and then we'll do a testimonial swap. Once again, it has to be genuine. You have to actually help each other with your goods and services. Also, sometimes I offer to anyone who wants to talk to me, let's set up a free discovery call, a free consultation, and that's fine. And sometimes right off the bat, we know that they're not in a place where they need to hire me, or they're just not and for whatever reason, we're not going to move forward into a paid relationship. But because I'm able to give them good advice and help them, I usually try and refer people afterwards. Because I'm able to give that value, they're in a place where when I say, hey, and if you wouldn't mind, if this was helpful, is it okay if I send you a link to my business page after this? And then once again, I help them in a relevant way, and they're able to say that I'm knowledgeable, that I'm good to work with. And it's just reviews ranking up on your page. So don't be afraid of doing that either. But once again, I don't want you to shy away from making content. Like I can't be hired or I can't be authoritative until I have reviews. It's not true. You can definitely still show and build authority until you get one or two. Everyone starts there. I started there. I would encourage you to not let that stop you. So what you can do is just share authoritative information from other places, from good news websites, good news articles, statistic websites. I refer to them all the time. I go to the sources where, like, you know, I trust the sources for like copywriting, content marketing information, things of that nature. I find the sources that have good information, and even though it's not my research, I trust them, I can share it, and then I kind of become this like curator of the content. So even if you aren't able to say, here's what I've done, you can still give important, useful information to show people that you know what you're talking about, even before you have reviews. So there's that aside. Anyway, so that's if you don't have clients. If you've had clients, of course, you can reach out to them. You know, I know people who've been in business for years, and they don't actually have like reviews or haven't actively asked for them. I know that there are hangups about that. Like, it feels awkward to reach out and be like, hey, I did this project for you. Maybe it was years ago. Can you write a review for me? Like, it feels weird, in part, I guess, because you're asking for help. But I've had to do this multiple times. I would encourage you to not be afraid of it. The worst they're going to say is no. And no really isn't that scary, especially once you have heard it a couple times. It's like, oh, I didn't die. That's fine. What I would encourage you to do is, if you have previous clients and you're trying to build up your reviews and testimonials, be personal. Pick a couple clients that you know were really happy, that you really clicked with, and send them a personal email. Don't email blast, because it won't be as effective. Be personal. Reach out to them on a one-on-one basis. And in just a couple of paragraphs, just something, good morning, Amanda, how are you? Be personal. Go on a one-on-one basis and just, you know, say like, hey, I was thinking about you today. By the way, I'm, you know, setting up this part of my website or my business. It would help me so much. Would you mind sharing something? It would take 5 minutes. Here's the link. Short and sweet. That's all it is. They may forget the email. They may not respond to it, or they may write you a great review, and then you can post that all over the freaking place if you want to. That's great. Just reach out and ask. You'd be like, something I've always been like pleasantly surprised by is just like, I think because we get in this place where we feel like we're not good enough, we have imposter syndrome, so it's just like, I'm afraid to ask for reviews because they're really gonna slam me. Most of the time, if you say like, I need this help with my business, I'm building this, and you didn't like turn their business into a dumpster fire, they'll be helpful. They'll be happy to help you. Anyways, also, what you can do, even if you don't want to ask directly, go through like your all your electronic communications. Go through your emails. Go through the comments on your posts on Facebook. Go through your, you know, go through comments on your blog, stuff of this nature, and kind of build it up that way. So, for example, on my phone, I have an album that's just basically like reviews or testimonials. And so it doesn't have to be like, you know, a traditional testimonial, like, you know, left in the proper place, in the proper form. People are telling you all the time what they feel about you. So a lot of times I'll take a screenshot if someone left me a sweet comment or said something nice in the DMs as we were working on their project. I'll cross out their name, and then I'll use it later. I have a collection of it ready to go. So look through all of that stuff. See what you can do to see what you can use and repurpose, as long as you're protecting the privacy of your clients and perhaps asking permission. I'll get into that later. All right, so if you have clients, that's how you reach out to them. And once again, even if you have clients and you still want to use, like, you know, the techniques from the no client section, I guess, go for it. Reach out to previous bosses. It's just like, it doesn't hurt. And also, it's a really good way to let them know that you're in business and help them engage and feel like they're a part of it. So anyways, all right. So now, as you move forward, you want to try and make it easier to get reviews as you go. So so here's a few tips on like what to do for like future testimonials from your future clients. So you want to ask for the review right when they're really happy. So that's usually at the end of a completed project, right at the moment where you're sending it and you're like, they say, I love it, this is great, I'm so happy that you did this for me. So make sure to send them a message that's like, that has a link to your preferred platform, the place where you want the comment to show up. Tell them how long it'll take, like 5 minutes and 3 sentences. Keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. Keep it as simple as possible for them to give you this review, this testimonial. And also let them know, this will help my business so much. This is great. Thank you so much. If you could do this, it would just make my day. That goes a long way. I've only had one or two people not actually go in and do it afterwards. So make sure you do it at the moment you have solved their problem and they're happy. Like that emotional connection, they'll be very willing to reciprocate. Also, as you're going forward, keep in mind where you want your reviews to end up. So most of my business is done on Facebook. So I send the link to my Facebook page. Now, one of the good things about that is it has this extra, like kind of like if you did it on LinkedIn as a recommendation, it has this little extra ding of social proof, where the fact is, on my website, I can just throw up text and say as a testimonial. But on Facebook and LinkedIn, it's connected to someone's profile, so it has this extra level of authority for those comments. So, but don't bombard them. Say you have stuff on Facebook and LinkedIn and Fiverr and Instagram, whatever. Don't ask them to send reviews on like 14 platforms. Keep it simple. Pick the one that'll be the most impactful. Give them the link to that place. Once again, on Facebook, you can send them to your review link on your business page. On LinkedIn, you can request a recommendation on your profile. So also some CRMs have like a form feature. So maybe maybe you prefer to send them like a 3-question Google Forms, or do something similar through your management software. I have a CRM software that I haven't played around with very much, but I really wanted to go on my Facebook page, so I haven't really dealt with it yet. I want it to go directly there, but that may be a helpful route. So if you have some CRM software, look into that, see if that would be a helpful option for you. Because of course, if you have automated workflows, you can build that into your workflow. Like after you get the final payment, it triggers the review request email. Anyways, another thing that people sometimes do for the reviews is they'll incentivize it with gift cards or raffles. Honestly, I've never had to do that. If you ask nicely at the right moment after doing a good job, you're probably going to get the review. But that is an option, and you can look more into that, like offering like, I don't know, Starbucks gift card or whatever. I feel like everyone does that, but it's an idea. All right, so for the reviews, here's some ideas on like how to use them, because once you have them, it's just like, okay, now where do I put it? It's like this new cool thing that you want to put in your house, and it's like, okay, where do I hang it? How do I use it? So first thing to note, be careful of privacy and confidentiality. So especially for like, my bookkeepers, that's something that they run into, is that they need to be very careful to be confidential with their clients. If you're at all in doubt, ask for permission. And if they say no, you need to be respectful of that. Private, if you are getting the testimony or the comment from a private source, like, your direct messages, your emails, always ask for permission. Always ask for permission, because they sent that to you privately. But if it's a public source, like they put the review on your Facebook page, or they wrote the review on your public profile, or they, or they left the comment, on your blog post, things like that where it's public, you have more leeway, but asking permission is always the safest. So on your website, of course, you want to have testimonials on there. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to put something on every page of your website, because you want everything you say to be backed up by someone else. You want that authority power on every page. You don't just want, 3 reviews revolving on the home page, and then they go to the services page and they're not sure if they should go through with the services. The services page is a great place to put reviews. Even if it's just like one review, like under the services, like before like the call now button, this is how you're helping them build trust in you and move on to the next step with you. So put one on every page. And especially if you're lucky enough that your reviews mention a specific service, add that review next to that service. That way it helps back it up even more. It's great. Another thing to keep in mind as far as the reviews, once again, this is all depending on how public the review was and who the reviewer was. With a full name is good. If you have just the text, it doesn't ring quite true. So the full name is good. With a business name as well is better. With a client picture is best. Human faces are always a really big draw on a website. If they're comfortable with you doing that, use it. It's powerful. You'll get the most bang for your buck in that way. So that's on your website. For social media, once again, like I told you, I have a little album on my phone where it's basically just testimonials and reviews. Use screenshots with the personal information, crossed out. And just share it like in your post, on your Facebook stories, on your business page. Use it, and if you have a lot of them, use them like once a week. Like I use this all the time in I'm actually doing this live because as I've made the membership content, I refer to testimonials all the time because there's such an easy and powerful way to talk well about your business and show that you know what you're talking about. So if you have them, please use them. It's easy and powerful. And beyond that, you can embed them everywhere that feels good. Like if you have an email subscription list, add them to that, especially if you're promoting a new service. Do you have a blog? Embed them there. Anywhere that your business profile is, if you can find a good way to put the testimonial in there, go for it. It's good for you. And one last tip for you. Now this is kind of funny, but I've seen this in multiple places, as far as like it being verifiable, and they've actually done research on this. If you get, especially once you like build up your reviews, if you get a wishy-washy or a bad review or two, don't freak out. Don't take it off or sterilize your profile. I mean, if they're like threatening your life or something, that's different. But if you have someone who's like, just didn't, wasn't super into it, that's not a bad thing because it makes you look more authentic. If your company has like 100% 5 stars and nothing but good reviews, people are just like, okay, nothing is ever 100% good, and so they'll think that the good reviews are manipulated or even censored. So they won't trust you as much. So what's weird is that they've actually done research where a bad review or two actually isn't a bad thing. It makes it look more authentic, like they can trust you more as a result. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So that's my spiel on testimonials. If you already have them, go out and use them, even if it's just screenshotting it and sharing it on your profile. Say something to the effect of, here's how I've helped someone else. I'd love to help you too. Reach out to me today. Hi, Diana. Go out and use them. And if you don't have them, go out and ask for them. People want to help you. And if you ask for it in a way where it shows that you are helping me in a very meaningful way, people want to do that. It's not a hard thing to do, especially if like you make it easy for them. So go out, get reviews, use your reviews, and yeah, I like, for example, when I use them in my business, I always see a very good response. Like usually not on the actual post, but in the DMs. A lot of times I get a pretty, I'll get someone reaching out if I use a testimonial well. So anyways, that is what I've got for you today. Go use your testimonials, go get your testimonials, and go grow your business and get some clients, okay? All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a beautiful Tuesday. Bye.